Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for this week. How you doing? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. I thought I would come back with the sneak peek for the week. I told you I was coming back to do a reading for you for the next 7 days. For those of you who aren't aware, I did a sneak peek for the weekend, and so that covered you from Friday to Monday. This one's covering you from Tuesday forward. You're going to get this early on a Tuesday morning, and it is for the next 7 days. So thank you so much for clicking here. If you're brand new, welcome here, and if you keep coming back, I appreciate you so much. My ride or dies, I depend on you. Thanks so much for doing that. I do have 12 decks to my left here, and I'm going to read a little bit from each one of them for each sign of the Zodiac. I'm going to mark everything down below in the description so you can just scroll this video and find what you need in terms of energies. But I'm just going to ask you to please stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. If you've been here long enough, you know that you're not getting a whole lot of information just with the sun sign energy, and it is free. You just Google free natal chart and just plunk your information in there, even if you don't have your exact time of birth. If you put in whether you were born in the AM or the PM, it will give you some sort of a rising or ascendant sign. And then the only other thing I want to tell you is that private reads are open. So if you're interested in a private read, please look in the pinned comment. As I do for every single one of my videos, I always put a pinned comment at the top of all the comments. So it's readily available for you. If you're interested in a private reading, which is pre-recorded, I am doing those. Some of them have a 48-hour turnaround time. The rest of them are usually 5 to 10 day turnaround time. I also have live readings that I'm doing as well. So that's where all the sales are currently, and anywhere from 5 to 75% off of the live reading. You will pick the time frame, and when you pick the time frame, and this is for the live reading only, that you can stuff as many questions into that reading as we can do in the time frame that you have picked. So I'd love to talk to you. I do already have a couple of you on deck for the week. Looking forward to speaking to you both. That's about it. Let's get going here. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's talk about the fire family here. Aries, you are my fire family. I have probably just as much Aries as Earth energy in my chart. I'm a Taurus sun, but I've got so much fire, including I am a cusp with Aries. All right, where does it fall for you? Where does it fall for you in your chart? Tell me. And if you don't know, then please go get a free natal chart. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries. The fire family, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about the next 7 days for Aries. Sneak peek for this week. Tell me what's going on for Aries, please. We are in the in-between, right? Between eclipses. This is going to be an important read for you, as they all will, throughout the month of September and beyond. Tell me about Aries. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. Why is that? We've got the Emperor. We've got the Hierophant energy, and we've got the Four of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we've got Temperance. It does look to me like it feels like you are very in control of your finances, I'm going to say. So you are somebody who is whether or not you're in control of your finances, but I think you are, because the Hierophant is very sturdy and solid. It feels like you're building some sort of a financial structure, like you're very structured as it pertains to your finances, Aries. And if it doesn't, maybe I'm not talking about you today, but we have stability, we have structure, we have listening to the higher self, we have doing the right thing. We have the Emperor here who's running empires. So you might be a business owner, or you might be someone who has several businesses, or maybe business ideas, but then we have the Queen of Pentacles. And I feel like you're a person who not only takes care of your financial stability, but that you enjoy being in luxury, possibly. You like to give luxury to other people. You like to supply people with material wealth. And you might be somebody who is maybe a father, or maybe you're in a relationship. It could be with the Emperor energy being here. But mostly I think what the Emperor energy is telling me here, this is your energy, of course, it's Aries. Mostly what it's telling me is that you're pretty much in control of your empire right now. I'm just going to say, because it feels like it's a pretty strong structure you've built here. And not only is it your material wealth, but I feel like it's your health. I feel like it's just stability all around. So I think this week you're going to be feeling quite stable and happy about that stability. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Two of Pentacles. Feels like it's going to be probably a busy week where you're juggling a lot of things. It could be a lot of things that have to do with material wealth. We do have the Magician here. You're going to make it look easy, but I feel like that's an illusion. It feels as though there's going to be a lot going on this week that keeps you busy, and although you're going to keep it all under control and make it look to the outside world that you're quite in control of all of it, it feels like that's a little bit of an illusion. It feels like you will talk to people and show them your Facebook face, the one where everything's great, everything's wonderful, everything's fine. I can count on 100 times where everybody said something was great, well and fine, and it actually was not. So I feel like this victory energy here is that you will be getting some financial victories, but I really do feel like the illusion you're showing everybody else is, look, Ma, no hands. It feels like you're showing everybody else, man, it's no big deal. I got it all under control. Meanwhile, I feel like you're a duck on a pond, right? They see you just floating along, but your little feet are like, woo, underneath the surface. I feel like you're trying to keep everything in order and structured, and you're trying to do the right thing by your friends, by your family. You're showing people stability, happiness, nothing to see here, everything's fine. But the Magician's telling me that there may be a little bit of illusion as it pertains to that. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Page of Swords. And we've got the King of Cups. So it feels to me like there is something going on. If you are somebody who's in a relationship here, it feels as though there's a bit of a negotiation going on, is what it feels like. It feels like we're negotiating feelings or negotiating where we fit the romantic or deep emotional feelings. It almost feels as though that the connection between the King and the Queen of Cups at this time is the Page of Swords. It feels like somebody here doesn't quite know where to step in terms of deep emotional things. It feels like one person in the relationship might be somebody who is very emotional, and the other person is someone who keeps it all under wraps. So somebody is I feel like the Queen of Cups, possibly the feminine leaning energy, is the one that doesn't mind showing the feelings, but it could be masculine. Look, people, plants, and animals, people get irritated with me when I explain this, and if you're one of those people, that's a you problem, not a me problem. But humans, plants, and animals, all of us have feminine and masculine energy. So you could be the King or the Queen of Cups. So I feel like one of you is very emotional, and one of you keeps your emotions under wraps. And so I feel like you're still learning about someone, or learning how to deal with someone's this person is learning how to deal with this person who's non-emotional, and this person is trying to deal with this person who is overly emotional. And in between you is the Page of Swords, and it feels like there's more of an observation going on than us trying to feel anything, is what it feels like here. We have the Nine of Swords, and that worries somebody, because I feel as though these two people came together because they mirror each other, but the worry about it is this going to come to an end? The Nine of Swords and the Ace of Swords that's in the hand of the page tells me that it hurts. Like when you don't show me your feelings, it hurts. And that other one is saying, look, when you're so overly emotional, I don't even want to deal with you. That hurts. It makes me crazy. So I feel like you're Aries, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, I feel like you're the person who's under control of your feelings, of your empire, that you focus very much on wealth, health, things that are stable, solid, move slow. I feel like you don't like to deal in the realm of emotions, or if you do, you keep them all under the surface. Even your worries, you keep them under the surface. I feel like you would rather be in this energy of the Hierophant, where you're building solid structures, you're traditional Aries, you're somebody who is who's showing the world, I've got it all under control, even though you are trying to build things here, possibly. Even when you're in a group of friends, possibly, you've got the Facebook face on saying, no, it's all good. but I feel like underneath your little legs are going like the duck on the pond here. The outcome we've got is the Wheel of Fortune. It might be that Wheel of Fortune is the reason why you're fighting yourself or arguing with yourself about whether or not to bring your feelings to the surface, because it does feel like you feel that there's change coming, and I think you would be right. It feels like if you feel that there is change coming, and it's almost like it's like the time, it's like when there is a really big social event going on, it's the time leading up to it that creates all the angst. It's like once you finally get there, I'm just going to use this like if you're somebody who's ever been on stage for any reason, speaking, playing music, whatever you're doing, you know that the time period that is between the time where you say yes and the time where you have to get up on stage and do your thing, that's the most anxiety fueled time. And I feel like that's what this is giving me here, that you're kind of fighting this energy of something's about to change and it's going so slow that it gives me this feeling in the pit of my gut, like, why hasn't it changed yet? Like it feels like that. So you're showing everybody that you are good, that everything is fine. You're giving them all the Facebook face. But meanwhile, I feel like you're this duck on a pond. People can't see that your little legs are going 100 miles an hour underneath just to keep you afloat because you've got so much on your plate here. What's around the corner for Aries? We've got the Three of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Pentacles. It feels like you might have something new on the horizon. And maybe this is part of the Wheel of Fortune that you're feeling, because this is expansion, right? This is something's going to change. I can feel it in my bones. I feel like I'm trying to hold back, or I'm trying to go as slow as I can, but it is coming at me in the distance and I don't know how to deal with it. The Three of Swords is in the reverse with the Page of Pentacles. It does feel like you don't want to be disappointed. You don't want to be heartbroken, but it feels like there is something here that is, it does feel like a little bit of angst that has to do with the Page of Pentacles. It's almost like you're trying to give someone a bit of an offering, but you're feeling like you're going to be pushed outside, like somebody is going to ignore you. I'm just looking back at the King and the Queen of Cups here, because the King of Cups is the one that's stoic, is going to keep it under the surface, and the Queen of Cups is going to let it all pour out the top. So it feels like the Queen might be the one who's having a little bit of angst, whether you're the feminine or the masculine Queen, because I need to speak with the King, and I don't think that the King is ready to show me their feelings. I'm going to try and offer them just a little bit of information or a little bit of time alone, maybe a little bit of a gift of maybe we'll talk about something. But I feel like you are very worried that if you say something, it could all blow up in your face. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got the Ten of Wands. It feels like you need to put down some burdens before you push forward here with the Eight of Wands energy. You've got to put down some burdens in order to open up the heart space. So I feel like you're trying to get someone to open up the heart space this week, but that person doesn't want to open the heart space. It feels like this person deals with emotional things in a stoic manner, and I don't know if that's you or them, but you can decide that. It's not my business. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius. We've got Leo. We've got Gemini and Aries. We've got Virgo energy. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarius. We've got more Taurus energy, Aries. We've got Virgo and Capricorn, Cancer on the bottom of the deck. All right. Start us out like that, are ya? Let's find out what's going on for the bull gang. Tell me about Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. How you doing, my bull gang? I hope you're well. Let's find out what's going on for Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. The next 7 days. Okay, Taurus. Well, that one just flipped out and it's almost on its side. So I think there is a challenge coming for you this week. And I want to say that the challenge is that something is going to go down that is going to make you feel either like maybe someone has made their way around the block. It feels like with the Seven of Wands, it feels as though you feel you have to protect yourself because somebody's poking at you. That's what it feels like here. I'm just going to keep these because they fell out of the deck. There we go. We've got the King of Cups. We've got the Star. And we've got the Two of Wands. King of Swords is on the bottom of the deck. Taurus, it does feel like you are blocking someone's emotions. There is somebody here who I feel is about to make a decision regarding you. They're trying to make the most balanced, healed decision. This is somebody who's been trying to heal their tumultuous emotions about you here. It feels like this person is somebody who hasn't yet shown their feelings on the surface, or how they feel about something. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Maybe how they feel about something. It feels like a wish is coming true for you this week, because somebody is about to make a decision. Now, whether it's too little, too late, that's up to you, but it feels like this is something you've wished for. Somebody who was waiting at the crossroads is about to make some sort of decision regarding you, and this person left you as the wounded warrior. 7 and 2 is 9. But they're here making a decision. They got a phone in hand. This person's like, should I call Taurus or should I text Taurus? It feels like if they do text you, it feels like they come up as the King of Cups or the King of Swords. They're going to be very stoic. These are the Stoics, right? They're going to be very stoic. It's going to seem head over heart. But the text that you get, Taurus, or the call, or whatever it is, whatever communication, because I think I told you that already in your in-between message, is that there is some type of communication, right? And it feels like it's going to make you feel emotionally defensive. So that tells me something. It feels like this at one time may have been a wish fulfillment, but somebody may have taken their time or didn't take the time to show you when it was time for them to make a decision. It feels like they didn't show you their feelings. Tell me why the 7 of Wands is here. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. We've got the 4 of Swords. You're like, nah, brah, I have healed. I've healed since you decided. Like, it could have been they nothing to you, because the King of Cups is Scorpio, also Pisces and Cancer, because we are in a general reading. But Scorpio can nothing you. Scorpio won't tell you why, won't say anything. They'll just pull their energy back and you won't hear from them again, right? That's kind of the way the fixed signs will deal with it. And so it does feel like there is the 9 of Pentacles here, and I feel like that's your energy right now. I feel like you've healed. You've healed your finances. You're very stable. You've built a reputation, like a good one, an abundant one. It feels like you maybe are running a business, or you are doing very well in your place of work. You've progressed through the ranks. It feels like with the 4 of Swords that you've done some emotional healing here. And I feel like when this person shows up for you, Taurus, or shows up again, it feels like you might just reject them, right? You might just ignore the text. You might just decide, no, I'm not going on another cycle with you like this. So I feel like somebody here is, I think although you're remembering the good times, and that's the place where we can get into a trap, is we start to remember the good times and stop remembering why we broke up, or why we're no longer together, or why it didn't work out as friends. I feel like you have healed since then, so when this person shows up, they're still not going to be giving you much information in terms of their feelings, but I do feel that them showing up is a wish fulfillment, like, there it is finally. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the Death card, and we've got the 7 of Swords. So I feel, Taurus, this Queen of Pentacles energy tells me that you're focused on you. When this call comes in, when this text comes in, when this person communicates with you. Now, for those of you, it's only logical if they have no way of getting holding you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those of you still live in the same place, still have the same phone number, haven't blocked them yet. That kind of thing. It feels like with this Queen of Pentacles energy, you've transformed. You probably look very different than when this person had spoken with you last. It feels like this 9 of Pentacles is not only confidence, not only self-confidence, but I feel like you've gone through some sort of a glow-up phase. So you've completely changed how you dress, how you look. Maybe you've lost a bunch of weight. Maybe you've gained some weight. Maybe you've gained some muscle. I don't know. But it feels like you've really been taking care of yourself, because really that's who the Queen of Pentacles is. This is somebody that when you give them something, they're going to multiply it. And so if somebody here just nothing to you, you would have fought back by saying, fine, I'm just going to end up having the revenge body, that's all. So I think the Queen of Pentacles tells me that you're solid, grounded, your finances are good, you're focused on yourself, you're focused on your health, your stability, and it feels like you've had a complete and total transformation. So I feel like your bullshit meter is super, super sharp. The Seven of Swords is here. No one's getting past you. No one is getting past you with this energy of the Seven of Swords. No one's getting away with anything. The Ace of Pentacles is in the reverse here. I feel like when this person shows up, Taurus, I don't think you're interested in investing here. I think you gave this person long enough. You gave them enough time to invest in you, and I think that they chose not to. Let's look at the outcome, Taurus. Please always remember that you always have your agency. You're making decisions for you. I'm just telling you the energies that I'm feeling, so it may or may not resonate with you. We've got the Empress. King of Swords. Woo! The Empress is going to be sharp. I think that you're just going to be completely and totally honest with whoever this is that's showing up for you. They could be an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. They could be a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer. It feels like for some of you it could be fire, but it almost feels like it's a fire in the rising to me. It doesn't feel like we're talking about sun. Nonetheless, the Empress is here. That could be you if you've got all the wisdom of all of the queens and you don't need this person. You don't need anybody. You're taking care of yourself here. You go from the pre-Empress energy into the Empress energy. And with the King of Swords, you have no problem gutting somebody. I feel like you have no problem giving all the truth, the facts, the honesty. And can we just sit down and look at this pie chart? This is how things progressed over the years. This is what you did to me, and this is where I am right now. It feels like this, you're going to do it in the kindest way you know how, because the Knight of Cups is here, and the Knight of Cups is quite sweet. So the Empress is as well. And I feel like you're going to be very sharp, very honest, very truthful, but you're going to try and do it in the kindest way possible, because I don't think you want any bad karma. I don't think that you're trying to hurt anybody. And if you are, then maybe I'm just not talking about you. I'm talking about the Empress. The Empress is never going to take a go at somebody. The Empress is just over that whole thing. The Empress isn't going to do that. The Empress is like, look, I'm just not into it anymore, but thank you for your interest. We've got the Eight of Cups. Yep, there it is, the boomerang. Friends, the Eight of Cups is the boomerang for me. It's somebody went out there, they left, they detached, and now they're on the way back. So the Hanged Man is here, and they left you in a pause. I feel like you now have so much perspective, because it's been a very long while. Feels like you have so much perspective that it's almost as if you're grateful that this person just nothinged you, because it caused you to carry on with your life in a way where you really did have this major glow up. I feel like there is going to be a conversation that is very sharp, very honest, and very truthful. But the Queen of Swords, although a little bit intimidating because she only speaks the truth, is not somebody who's ready to ruffle feathers. I don't think you want to hurt anybody because the Queen of Cups is here, but I think that you're ready to be super honest with somebody about how you're going to cut through the illusion. Look, you left me here. You left me here in the silence, and I was left to heal myself. Well, I did. I healed it. I healed the 9 Wands, and I'm willing to give you a little bit of friendship. I'm willing to say hello, but that's really as far as it goes, because I have dropped this. It's done. I think that you realized how truly toxic somebody was here, regardless of how delicious they are, feminine or masculine. But we have the wheel. You've completely and totally changed, is what it is here. All right, we've got the Queen of Swords. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy here. We've got Virgo. We've got Pisces, Scorpio. We've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Aquarius, and Libra. And we have Taurus here as well. All right. Tell me about Gemini. Tell me about Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Gemini for the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Gemini. Tell me what's going on for Gemini. Ooh, just saw as I was shuffling there, I just saw the Judgment card and the Tower. Gemini, let's find out if this is going to come out in your reading. Let's talk about Gemini. We've got the King of Swords. It's your energy. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. We've got the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Chariot. And we've got the King of Wands. I feel like there is someone here who, Gemini, it does feel like there is something coming from the depths, I'm just going to say. The Chariot is here, and in most depictions, the Chariot comes from under the water, right? Because the Chariot is Cancer energy. I think we are talking about emotional energy here, but I think the Chariot is giving me the energy for you as emotional discipline. There's something here that you're going to be handling this week that you are going to need to be in your King of Swords energy for. Somebody who is very head over heart, but is going to be very honest and truthful. It's a decision-making kind of energy. It almost feels like there is a decision that, like a decision you've come to or have to come to this week, because we have the Two of Pentacles here. The Four of Pentacles is here. So it feels like you're not telling anybody what your decision is, but you are disciplining. You need to discipline your emotions in order to make this decision. We do have the King of Wands here. I feel like you are inspired to discipline your words, I'm going to say. Discipline your words and to hold back just a little. Tell me why the King of Swords is here. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Four of Swords. And we've got the Three of Swords. I feel like you have healed something in the heart space, and I feel like it took you a little bit of time to do that. The Queen of Cups is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. That's Cancer energy, and it feels like possibly this has been going on since June or July, that you've been in this deep healing energy, because it feels like something happened that disappointed you or hurt your feelings or hurt your heart. It feels like you've been quiet with somebody, and it feels like there is something that happened possibly that was a deep emotional cut or a deep emotional disappointment or heartbreak. It feels like you've healed that, and it also feels like you're ready. You're ready with the sword at the side here, with the sword at the ready. You're ready to be very honest and truthful with someone. I don't think that you are trying to cut them with your words, but I feel like you've been thinking and overthinking. Aquarius is the master overthinker. I feel like you've been overthinking the situation and thinking, if this person ever showed up for me again, I know exactly what I would say to them. It does feel like you've been holding back or not saying anything, keeping silent or quiet. And this is how I feel like you've been disciplining disciplining your words or the things that you will say. It's like, I want to keep it in check. I don't want it to get overly emotional. Chariot energy is Cancer. Cancer is always dealing under the surface. It feels like something has inspired you to just not say anything. It feels like you want someone to come to you. It feels like you don't feel like you should have to go to them. We've got the Ace of Wands, we've got the King of Cups, and we've got the Knight of Wands. It does feel like you want someone to be brave enough to approach you on the subject. It feels like the King of Cups is what you will give them. We are looking at 3 kings now here. It feels like you have learnt the stoicism of the kings, I would say, because the King of Cups is Scorpio energy, but also Pisces and Cancer in this reading. But it is about keeping the feelings under wraps. It feels like it's almost as if you're going to be a little bit excited that this person has come forward, and only for the purpose of saying what you've got to say. John Mayer, say what you need to say. I feel like it's something like you need to say something and you have been thinking about being brave enough to finally just say it. Like the fire is here, right? The Knight of Wands is here and the Ace of Wands. It's almost like you're a little bit excited because you know you're finally just going to be able to say it. Tell me about this. We've got the Nine of Swords, but it worries you just a little bit. Tell me what the outcome is here. Tell me if you can about this. What are we talking about? Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Six of Swords. So it's someone that I feel you've moved on from because it was too chaotic. Maybe it was a situation. It could be, we don't have any pentacles, so it doesn't feel like it's workplace, but it does feel like it's there is something here that you moved on from because it was far too chaotic in the mind. I feel like you thought about it too much. You overthunk it a lot for a very long time. The Knight of Pentacles is here. So you've gone over every single detail of what you would say should this person show up here. Seven of Pentacles is here. I feel like you've been working really hard on what you would tell them. Who is this person and why do you have something to say? Ten of Cups. They could be someone you dated, someone who you used to be happy with at some point. They could be a member of your family. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. So you either lived with them or married to them, or they were a member of your family that you no longer speak with. And we have the Seven of Wands. It feels as whenever we have a conversation, it gets out of hand really easy. One of you becomes very defensive or puts up the boundaries and says, no, I'm not talking with you about this. The only king that is not present here is the King of Pentacles, and that's the one that's grounded. That's the one that is, you're never going to get the goat. You're never going to rile up the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles and the King of Cups are going to stay solid. They're just not going to say anything. They're going to keep the boundaries up. So it does feel like, I don't know if this is romantic or platonic, but it does feel like you know that should this person come forward, you're ready for them. And I think I'm telling you that because somebody here might be coming forward. The Death card is here. So it does feel like this is something that ended and everything changed. It feels like when we stopped talking, everything changed. I'm not talking to you anymore. So if you want to talk to me, you can come and talk to me, and I'm gonna give you space to say what you've got to say, but I've been thinking about every single word and phrase that I've been wanting to say to you since we stopped talking. So it does feel like there is something that is, I think that actually goes along with your in-between reading as well. There's something here, there's a conversation that's going to be had in the next 7 days, and it's going to be very pointed. I don't think that it's going to be very soft. It's going to be a little bit harsh, and some people are going to be holding back. We've got Scorpio, we've got Sagittarius, we've got Pisces and Cancer here. We've got the King of Wands, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Feels like it's going to be sharp. All right, Cancer. Tell me about Cancer, about the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. Tell me about Cancer. Sneak peek for this week, next 7 days for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Queen of Swords popping out first. Why is that? We've got the Two of Cups. Oh, interesting here. We've got the Knight of Swords, Cancer. And we've got the Four of Pentacles. Look, you're just going to do it. I think you're just going to do it. You're just going to say it because the Knight of Swords is here, and that's Gemini energy, and Gemini is just going to put it out there. The Two of Cups and the Queen of Swords tells me you're going to be very honest about about what's going on in this bond. Now, the Two of Cups can be platonic or romantic. It is a bond between two people that have shared emotions, and so this could be a best friend, this could be a member of the family, but it definitely could be somebody that you have a romantic interest in. It feels like things have been quiet between you and this person, and that The Four of Pentacles tells me shut off, shut down. I'm protecting things. I'm protecting what is most precious to me. I'm protecting myself, my heart, my money, my material possessions. It could be that. But the Knight of Swords tells me that there is going to be a conversation. Somebody is showing up that is not going to take no for an answer, Cancer. Answer, Cancer. There's somebody here who's not going to take no for an answer. And they are going to be quite aggressive in the way that they want to speak with you. Now, I think you have boundaries, but I also feel like this Queen of Swords is telling me that the Queen of Swords is going to get their point across, regardless. Like, we've got a bull right next to the Queen of Swords on this card, and it feels like bull in a china shop energy. It feels like that somebody is, I'm just going to say it, I don't really care. That's going to be a you problem. However you deal with it is not my issue, and that's actually the energy of the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Just being honest, and this one is being aggressive. And they're just going to break through this Four of Pentacles here. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Eight of Swords. And we've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So it does feel like somebody is feeling a little bit apprehensive, I would say. With the Knight of Wands in the reverse, it tells me I'm feeling aggressive, but not necessarily brave about moving forward with passion. I'm not going to do it with passion. I feel like you're just going to do it head over heart. Whatever has to be said here. The Eight of Swords tells me that you've been overthinking the situation, not really seeing any way out other than through. I feel like you're just not dancing around it anymore, Cancer, that you're just finally going to say it here. Now, the Queen of Cups is your energy, and I feel like the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords being here together tells me I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to be honest in the kindest way that I know how. The most compassionate, loving, and kind way. Because it feels like there used to be feelings here, or I used to have a lot of really deep emotional feelings about you. Platonic or romantic, take it as it resonates. But it feels like if this is romantic, it feels like the Knight of Wands being in the reverse tells me that somebody here wants to speak directly, honestly, truthfully, and I don't want to talk about passion. I don't want to talk about your feelings. I just want to get the facts straight here. It almost feels like somebody is wanting to... Somebody who didn't get to say what they wanted to say. You know those people, right? You know those people who like to write the diatribes, who like to send out the text that is like 14 paragraphs, or write the letter by hand that is 5 pages. Like, they just can't not tell their side of the story. That's what this feels like here. It feels like somebody needs to tell their side of the story, whether it matters to the other person or not. To the person who is saying what they need to say, it's important to them to get it off their chest. We've got the Five of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Swords, and we've got the Magician. So it does feel like that there is something that's about to change really quickly here. And it also feels like, I'm just going to say, it feels like, look, I always say to you guys, Cancer, I don't know why it's only with Cancer energy, but I never know what side it's coming from. It might be coming from your side, but it feels like here somebody is going to try and manipulate you with their words, with their opinions. It feels like somebody here who's been disconnected, or somebody here who you've pushed on the outside looking in, or possibly they've pushed you on the outside looking in. It feels like with the Five of Swords and the Magician here, somebody's going to try and manipulate your words. That's gaslighting to me. So it feels like somebody's going to say, no, that's not the way it happened. The way it happened was this way, even though you were there and you know how it happened. So it almost feels like somebody here is going to try and gaslight you after not having spoken with you for a while. It feels like however this ended, it feels like it ended in an argument. It certainly did. So we have the King and the Queen of Swords here. The King and the Queen of Swords are not romantic partners. These are two people who deal with stuff head over heart. I'm just going to give you the facts. And if you don't like the facts, I don't care, because the truth doesn't care if you like it or not. It is the truth. Like, that's sort of the MO of the King of Swords. The King of Swords doesn't care if you like what they say. They're just like, the truth speaks for itself. So I feel like this is this person's truth, and I feel like they're almost manipulating the situation because it happened so long ago, possibly 5, 9, 4 years ago, possibly. It feels like they don't think you're going to remember how everything went down, but I think with the Queen of Swords showing up first, you remember with complete and total precision, because that's Libra and Gemini energy. You remember with precision how this all went down. So I think someone's coming in to try and rewrite history. We've got the 3 of Wands. We've got the 10 of Swords, and we've got the 7 of Cups. So I'm going to say that you're going back to where we were. Look, what you're doing here, what this person is doing with you, Cancer, is just, they are confirming to you why you no longer speak with them, why there was an ending, why you let them go, why we're not talking anymore. They just compound all of that. And you realize why you just don't really want anything to do with them. It feels like with the 3 of Wands here, it feels like somebody here wants to expand, wants to give you their opinion, wants to give you, you know, the 5-page letter, or they want to give it to you all verbally, whatever it is. And I don't think you're interested. You're like, I'm realizing why I cut you loose. Because I'm not interested in your diatribe. I really don't care what you have to say. That's what it feels like here. The King of Swords and the Queen of Swords both have these boundaries, right? Where somebody's like, I'm not letting you in. I don't really care. The Lovers is here. The 6 of Wands is here. And the 3 of Swords is here. This did end up in heartbreak or heartache. It feels like that you maybe did date this person, or they're a soulmate friend or a soulmate lover. You gave them a lot of attention, a lot of time. You gave them, it feels like you put them up on the high horse, like you really adored them, and I feel like they broke your heart. And I feel like you're realizing with the 10 of Swords here that you are not interested in having them in your future because they confuse you, because they're a gaslighter. That's what it feels like here. So you're moving on here. I feel like you're just you're detaching from the chaos of this whole situation, and you are moving forward. I feel like this person is coming forward just to make you realize that nothing has changed. Maybe you've changed, but they haven't changed. We've got Gemini energy. We've got Libra and Aquarius as well. We've got more Gemini energy, lots of swords, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, 2 of Cups, more Cancer, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Look, it's all like, it's watery swords. So it feels like we're arguing over an account of something. Like, this is how it happened. No, that's not how it happened at all. You're the one that did it to me. No, I didn't do it to you. Like, that's the way it feels. It feels like a back and forth like this. Let's talk about you, Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's coming up for Leo in the next 7 days. Leo, you will have an in-between reading coming up soon. Tell me about Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. For the next 7 days, tell me about Leo. Leo, we've got the 8 of Cups. Why is that? 8 of Cups for Leo. We've got the 2 of Wands. You're making a decision to walk away from, detach emotionally from something here. Feels like you've been stuck at the crossroads with someone, something, a situation that I feel has become stagnant, or you're like, I don't want to settle for this anymore. I'm not going to settle for somebody who's not giving me their full effort. We've got the 5 of Swords. And we've got the 4 of Cups in the reverse. So Temperance is here in the distance. Bottom of the deck for me is the future energy. And so that would be after the 7 days. It does feel like here with the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Wands, it feels like you're about to make a decision. And the decision that you're making is that you're no longer interested in being stuck in a situation. 8 of Cups for me is I'm settling for something. I know that 2 cups are out there. There is bond, there is happiness, there is love, or there's a best friend out there somewhere. And I need to make a decision to go get the 10 cups because the 8 cups aren't doing it for me. It feels like somebody here is about to detach emotionally. 5 of Swords is here because we just keep arguing. That's all we do. I'm never, I'm talking about fixed energy, Leo, that's you. I'm never gonna see things from the side that you want me to see it from. And so we might as well just stop talking about this right now because I'm never coming to your side and you're never coming to mine. 5 of Swords is somebody who is like throwing down their swords and walking away. I think it's you. I feel like you're like, you know what, I'm making a decision to just say, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Four of Cups is in the reverse. I want to say that I feel like your comfort zone is probably a place where somebody is challenging you and you've drawn a line in the sand and you're like, I dare you to step over the line. I think that's where your comfort zone is. But I feel like this time, I don't think that you're standing with your toes at the line anymore. I think you're just walking away from the line. I think that you're done arguing with somebody. Tell me about the Eight of Cups, please. What's making you disconnect here? We've got the Empress. We've got the Three of Wands. And we've got the Death card. There's transformation here in the future. You know what it is? I feel like you know what it's like to be in the presence of the Empress. And I don't think that you are at this time. It does feel like there is an Empress in your future that has changed the way you look at relationships. There is somebody here that I feel is in your future. It doesn't feel like you've maybe dated the Empress before. It feels like you have changed your mind or changed the way you look at relationships. You're now looking for someone who is stable, who's grounded, who's not argumentative, the person who is not going to be wild and crazy with you because you don't agree with them. I feel like you are now looking for Empress energy, someone who's grown up, someone who has boundaries, someone who's solid and grounded, moves slowly, stays in balance. I feel like you're walking away from some sort of crazy relationship. It feels like your comfort zone was to be with somebody who is argumentative and angry, and it's like you grew up in chaos, so you know how to deal with people like that. But I feel like you've done some healing here, because it tells me here that there's transformation and that you're moving forward into the future to look for an Empress. I feel like the way you look at relationships now, you're not into crash and burn relationships anymore, that you're into something that moves slow and steady. We've got the Nine of Swords. We've got the Ace of Swords. There's the 10. I like it. You're releasing something. Even though it's painful, I feel like you're probably breaking up with someone, or maybe you already have, or maybe you're finally saying to the person who's in your family or your best friend, look, you're acting crazy. Don't do that anymore. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I don't want chaos and drama in my life. It feels like you're just sort of letting go of something here. But this is hard for you to do. It's painful. The Nine of Swords is here. There's worry. The Ace of Swords tells me you've got to be very particular, honest, and truthful, because you've come to some sort of clarity or an epiphany of some kind. The Six of Cups is here. It feels like you've had a long relationship like this. This person's been in your life for a while. They could be a best friend, maybe a member of the family. It feels like you've known this person since you were young, and you're finally taking the Ace of Swords and saying, no, I don't care who you are in my family. I don't care if you're my mother. I don't care if you're my sister or brother or cousin. I don't care if we've known each other since kids. I don't care if we've been dating for 5 or 10 years or that we've been married for 20. I'm not doing this with you anymore. It's too exhausting. I feel like it's painful to let it go because there's a long nostalgic history here. But I feel like, Leo, you finally just have to tell somebody, that's it, the Fool is here. I'm just taking a leap of faith. I'm getting out of this chapter and I'm going to another. Tell me what this outcome is for Leo, please. We've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Judgment card, and we've got the Knight of Swords. So it tells me that you're out of there aggressively. You know what it is? The Judgment card tells me that you've had an awakening, that you've had a realization that you no longer want to be in this chaos with somebody who treats you less than, makes you feel stuck, and who is sort of your comfort zone. It feels like the chaos was the comfort zone, but it feels like you've healed, and it feels like the chaos is no longer comfort. And although it's going to be painful to let this all go, it feels like the Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to just do it. I'm just going to swing the sword. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it aggressively, and I'm going to complete this this awakening that I'm going through. The Judgment card is a really big decision to take another path, to do something like you've never done before. We've got the Two of Swords in the reverse. There's your decision. Four of Pentacles is here with the Page of Wands. It is you holding back. I feel like you are going on another path, that you are holding back. Two of Swords in the reverse, because you've already made the decision to do that. I'm shutting this down. I'm not giving you any more time, energy, effort, money, whatever it was that you were giving them. I feel like you're just swinging the sword. You made the decision. Two of Swords is in the reverse. Four of Pentacles is I'm shutting off and shutting down, and I'm heading out on my new path. We've got the High Priestess. I feel like you're finally listening to your intuition. Seven of Cups is in the reverse. There's your decision. There's no more illusion. I feel like there's no more delusion. I feel like there's no more delusion here, that you finally have come to a realization of what you no longer want. And the Ten of Cups is here. What you want is happiness. And you can't find happiness with this person who keeps acting crazy. Yeah, and that's all I can say. That's what it feels like. We've got Aries energy here. We've got lots of swords, so we'll call it Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got, Five Swords is here. More Swords is here. We've got Scorpio energy. We've got Libra and Taurus. Gemini energy, Virgo and Pisces. We've got Sagittarius energy. See, lots of fiery sort of, it feels like this is a crescendo, like it's an argument that is a crescendo, and you leave and you close the door behind you and you just never go back there. I think you're done. I think you're past done here. Virgo, how are you, birthday babies? Happy birthday, friends. I hope you're having a good Virgo season. It's been a little wild. I'm just going to say we are ending your Virgo season with another eclipse. It's been pretty wild. Let's find out what's going on for you, Virgo. For the next 7 days, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. What does Virgo need to know for the next 7 days? Sneak peek for this week. We've got the Four of Swords. We've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Tower. And the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Woof. Virgo, I feel like you feel a whole lot more stable when you're not speaking with the family, the long-term relationship. It feels like something has shifted here. And I feel what has shifted with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse is something that I feel that you felt was going to last for a really long time, whether it's a job or a marriage or a partnership or something that was going on with the family. I feel like you thought it was going to be forever, and it's not, because of this big shift that's coming up in the next 7 days here. It feels like this big shift comes on the heels of some healing that you've done. It almost feels like you pulled some energy back here, Virgo, from someone, and you needed a moment to think. I feel like you needed a moment to think something out, because you're about to make, I think the universe is about to show you that when you make a decision, that the universe will back you up. But I feel like once you make the decision, the universe shows up as a tower and says everything has got to change. Everything has to shift, and it's going to be a bit of a shit show. We have the Seven of Wands here, and I feel like it's like you tell the universe, look, I've got my boundaries up. I've got to keep my life stable. It almost feels like you pull your energy away, you back away from something, because you realize that it is broken, or I can't fix it, or I've put too much time, energy, effort, or money into this thing. Could be a business, could be a job, but it feels like something is about to shift, and it's because you've made a decision, some sort of a decision, and the universe is backing you up and saying, okay, if you're ready, let's do it. It's time to shift your perspective here, how you see things. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the Hanged Man show up. Tell me about the Four of Swords, please. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Five of Cups. And we've got the Knight of Swords. You know, this energy feels to me, Virgo, like they're not going to like the decision I'm about to make. It feels like it could be family. The Queen of Cups to me can be mother or father. It feels to me like you're going to say something or do something in the kindest way that you can, like the softest way, but the truth of the matter is you've got to be aggressive, because there's something here that you thought was going to be long-term, whether it's a job or a relationship or a friendship or whatever it is. And it feels as though you have realized that in order to be emotionally stable, in order for me to be calm in my emotions, to not kick up the cortisol and be stressed out, I've got to say something. So it feels like there is a really important say statement or a confession or communication. It's a really big decision. It looks like a really big decision here with the Judgment card. And it feels almost like an awakening, like you've had some sort of realization here. You're feeling inspired to finally take the advice from the universe. When the Judgment card shows up with the Tower, to me, that is an awakening. And it feels like you've decided to pull your energy away from something, your energy, time, effort, or money. So you're out, I'm going to say. And it's going to be an aggressive out. We've got the Lovers in the reverse. It could be a relationship for some of you, or a soulmate friendship that you decide is making you more sad than it is happy, because the Five of Cups is here. But I do feel like because the Six Cups is here, one with the Queen, that you've known this person since you were a child, or you've dated them since you were in your teens. It feels like a major shift is happening here as it pertains to some type of relationship, that it feels it's an aggressive shift. I'm going to say quite an aggressive shift because of some sort of an epiphany, or somebody said something and you caught it, like with precision. They said it and you caught it and you're like, what am I doing here? Why am I staying here? It's like an epiphany, Hermit energy. And then you took it in and thought about it. You took it in quietly. Hermit energy is the place where we go for self-preservation. It's like somebody said something that gutted you, or said something aggressive to you that just finally made you make the decision, or gave you clarity on that this is not fixable. That I've put in all the effort, time, and energy, and I'm not getting a damn thing out of this. So I feel like you go silent. You pull back your energy, because I feel like you've had an epiphany that the Lovers is in the reverse. That although you've given much, you've given everything, you're always the one that's in service, right? So it feels like you've given everything. And when the Tower shows up, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Some sort of major shift. And it's going to destabilize everything. For a little bit here, Virgo, you're going to feel out of control. You feel like you had control of the situation, and now all of a sudden everything's out of control, because of some epiphany or clarity that you received about the Lovers in reverse. It feels like you were trying to hold on to something here, whatever it is, a job possibly, or a person. You're trying to hold on to something, and I think that in the next 7 days you're realizing that I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. It makes me sad. It makes me unhappy. If I stay here, I'm going to have deep regret. So I feel like you swing the sword. You made a decision here. 4, 5, 6 swords tells me that it was too chaotic. I can't deal with this anymore. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the Page of Swords, and we've got the 7 of Swords. You know what it feels like? It feels like you figured something out. You got a piece of information or communication. Somebody said something to you, said it out of turn, blurted it out, and you finally went, wait a second. So everybody's been telling me that this thing isn't going to work out, and now I realize it's not going to work out. 9 of Pentacles is in the reverse. Look, I don't think that you wanted this to happen. I think that you were sort of turning a blind eye because you wanted everything to stay the same. But the Page of Swords is here. You can't help but learn, think. Like, the Page of Swords is somebody who is flexible in the mind still. Children still have a flexibility about them that adults don't. And I feel like you are still in this flexible energy of the mind where you've realized that somebody has been deceitful. It feels like some sort of information comes from the bottom. What am I saying? The bottom. Like I feel in my mind's eye, it's Pluto. I'm thinking the underbelly, right? Something comes from the underneath and comes to the surface. Something is exposed here. Exposed as a lie. You learn about a lie is what it feels like. And now you've lost complete and total confidence in the whole situation. But I think you were turning a blind eye to it because you've known this person forever. Six Cups. We've got the Fool. Yeah, you've got to take the door while it's open here, Virgo. You've got to take the door while it's open. We've got the Two of Swords. See, you were trying not to see it. I think that's what it was, because you love this person, because you've been with them forever if it's a relationship, or you've worked at this company for 15 years, but you realize they're completely corrupt. The way they do business is not the way you want to do business. It feels like you were keeping your eyes covered and trying not to make a decision that would make you go to another door or leave or take a leap of faith out of there. I think that you had your eyes closed. It feels like you were trying not to face the fear of having to make this great big grand exit is what it feels like, because the Queen of Swords is here. It almost feels like you're going out guns blazing. I don't know what this is, but it feels like you're just telling somebody exactly how it is, being honest and truthful, telling them exactly what you figured out, what has come to the surface, and the deception that whatever you figured out here, the Queen of Swords is just doing it. And it's a surprise because the Page of Cups is here. The Queen of Swords is just going to say it. And whether you like it or not, I don't care, because the truth doesn't care if you like it or not. We've got Aries. We've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. We've got Aries here, more Gemini energy. We've got Scorpio, more Gemini. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Aries energy, more Scorpio. Gosh, so much Scorpio energy. I'm telling you, it's something that's a blowout, is what it feels like here. Yeah. All right, Libra. Whew. Libra, give me some balance, please. Pretty, please. These readings are a little bit high anxiety. Tell me about Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Give us some good news about Libra, please. And I mean, all of these, whether you look at it as, the good news is everything changes. The bad news is everything changes. And I think we're in the in-between. And that's why everything is changing. So for some of you, the things I'm reading are good news. And some of you, it's bad news, but might work out in the end as good news. Tell me about Libra for the next 7 days, please. Sneak peek for this week for Libra. Libra, you're in the think tank. What's going on here? You have retreated, gone inward, and you are trying to find an answer about something, trying to get your stability, trying to find your way in the dark about the Empress. So it's very interesting, as you can see the way it's laying on the table here. It's like you're holding the lantern out above the head of the Empress. So it almost feels like you are trying to understand or find the light, or trying to understand something. Maybe you've pulled your energy back from the Empress. We've got the King of Cups. Okay, you're hiding some feelings, I think, here. Holding feelings under the surface. Looking at the Empress, wondering when is the right time for me to say something here. You're making a decision, is what it looks like. So the Two of Wands tells me you're at a crossroads. And the crossroads I feel that's going on here, Libra, is whether you're dealing with a feminine or a masculine Empress, I feel like you see someone who is like you. You could be the Empress, because Empress is Libra and Taurus. But I feel like I'm reading it as, well, somebody could be watching you, and it could be a Virgo, could be a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer. But it does feel to me, Libra, that you are really studying the Empress, because you have some pretty deep feelings here that I don't think you're saying anything about. You feel stuck. You feel stuck because you don't have your answer yet. And so I feel like you've gone inward to get an answer about whether or not you should keep these feelings under the surface, or whether you should let them push to the surface here. Tell me more. We've got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the Two of Swords. And we've got the King of Swords. Well, very interesting, because it feels like somebody here has been holding back their energy. And it could be the Empress. It could be the Empress, because the Empress will not chase. The Empress, if, you know, the Empress, as we're talking about feminine and masculine energies, it's usually the masculine energy which will pursue. And so it feels like if the Empress has been not really giving you all of their attention, time, or energy, it might be that they are waiting for you to make a decision as to whether you're going to pursue or not. I do have two masculine leaning energies here with the King of Cups and the King of Swords. We've got the Stoics here. So it seems to me that you're trying to make a decision, but you're terrified, because the reason you're holding your feelings under the surface, you're terrified to get your heart broken. We have the Two Swords and the one in the hand of the King. So it's comfortable for you, Libra, to be in this head over heart energy. It's comfortable for you there, but I feel as though there are some deep feelings brewing and you don't know what to do with it. You're kind of stuck trying to find your light. You've retreated here to make a decision. It feels like this has been going on since the full moon on the 7th. And you've not really been giving the Empress a lot of your time or energy. And look, the Empress is never going to chase. This person doesn't need you. They may want you, but they don't need you. And the Empress is never going to chase. She's attracting. It's not an ego thing. She's attracting what's hers. So when it shows up, she knows it's hers, right? We've got the Queen of Cups. So you two have been mirroring each other's energy. It almost feels like a standoff here. It's like we both have deep feelings for each other, but it feels like with the Two of Wands in between the King and the Queen of Cups that we are mirroring energies, but I feel the Empress is waiting for the masculine energy to step forward. I'm not talking about body parts, men or women, I don't care. It's masculine and feminine energies. We've got the World card. We've got the Eight of Wands. So it does feel like something needs to shift here. Emotions are shifting. I don't think that you have much control over it. I'm going to be honest. Your feelings are shifting and you don't really have a whole lot of control over it. It feels like what you're going to do is likely say something, because the Eight of Wands is here. 8 and 2 is 10. I feel like what you're doing is you're closing a door, releasing your energy, finally putting down whatever burdens. It feels like there's going to be a big shift or a big change between how you two deal with each other. And maybe you two are friends. Maybe you two are workmates. Like, it feels like it's going to bring a big shift in how you two communicate or deal with each other. And it feels like a heavy emotional burden, but you know you've got to make a decision one way or the other. And the World card tells me to tell you to stop worrying, because this is a milestone for you. I feel like you're usually have your King of Swords hat on and your head over heart. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. But I don't think that you can put this off any longer, because I feel like you know that the Empress is your Ten of Pentacles. This is the person that I feel is going to be off into the future with you. This is a long-standing, solid, healthy, slow-moving. It feels like a slow burn, I would say. It's very patient and kind. It feels like that sort of energy. It's something that is building from the 6 to the 10, and in between is 4. So we might be holding back right now. Between the 6 and the 10 is 4 Pentacles. You two are holding back from each other, because the Empress is always going to attract you, is going to try and pull you in via attraction, and hopefully you're listening. We've got the King of Pentacles. We've got the 5 of Wands, and we have the 5 of Cups. So I feel like there is the reason that you're staying where you are or moving so slow is because you don't know if there's competition for the Empress. You don't know if other people are trying to date the Empress. I'm just going to let you in on a secret. The Empress doesn't date. The Empress is waiting for the one. She's not going to date this one, that one, and the other one. She's not just letting anybody in on the boundaries. The Empress is somebody who has boundaries. They're going to meet somebody at the property line and get to know them, but they're not going to be out there dating. So I feel like the King of Pentacles is somebody who is moving super slow. I think that's you, but I think you're doing it and holding back or being in indecision because you don't want to get your heart broken, right? We have the Three of Swords here, and now we have the Five of Cups. You don't want to get your heart broken. So tell me what's around the corner. What's the advice for Libra? We've got the Nine of Wands. We've got the Fool in the reverse. Uh-oh. Libra, I think that you're just ready to jump in. This says, this right here says, hell with it. If I get hurt, I get hurt. I think I just need to jump in. Careful. Careful, because the Fool in the reverse has, is at risk of feeling like a fool. Or maybe you'll just feel like a fool, but I feel like you land on your feet, I'm going to say, because the Wheel of Fortune is here. It feels like everything's about to change and this is your destiny. I feel like the universe is trying to teach you how to stop overthinking and how to just take a leap of faith. The Empress is somebody who isn't going to lead you to a place where they're going to break your heart, because this person has intuition, and they're either going to stop you at the gate and say, thank you, no, but I'd love to be your friend, or it's going to be head over heels. So, this person isn't someone who's going to lead you on. They don't need you. So they're not going to lead you on. You don't have anything that they need. It would be nice to want you, but you don't have anything that they need. So feminine or masculine. So I feel like this wheel is telling me that something's about to change and expand between the two of you. Between you here, because the King and Queen of Cups are here and they're mirroring each other's energy. So it does feel like the Knight of Wands is here. I feel like you really want to just say something. Look, I really have a lot of feelings and I'm so attracted to you. Can we try this out? I think that you just want to create a spark here, like a healed sort of spark. I don't think you're the love bomber. I don't think they are either. Depending on whether you're the Empress or not, I don't think that that's what's going on here. I think there's a big attraction, but I also feel like water is passive energy. It's going to move slowly to this point of the apex of happiness. This is ultimate emotional happiness, right? And I feel like it starts out with a little tiny spark, and it is fueled into this wish fulfillment. And now I feel like, things have been building from the 6 to the 10. It's been building a little slow, but I feel like this is about to go down. I'm going to say somebody is going to make a move. If you're the Empress, then somebody's about to make a move toward you. If you're not the Empress, then you're waiting for someone to make a step toward you here. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. No, sorry. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarius. More Sag. We have Aries. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Whew, my brains. Libra and Taurus, Scorpio. We've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. More Virgo energy and some Sag energy. So good luck with that. Something's going down, my friend. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio in the next 7 days, please. Scorpio, before we get to that, I just need a little bit of water. It's been pretty wild. How you doing? I hope you're good. Scorpio, you remind me to drink. Right. Tell me what's going on with Scorpio. Let's do this one more time, this cutting stuff. Tell me about Scorpio. What's happening in the next 7 days? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sneak peek for this week for Scorpio. We've got the Page of Swords. That's curious energy, literally. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Six of Swords. And we've got the the Two of Cups. All right. It feels like somebody here is curious about the feelings that someone might have for them. Scorpio, I think it's you. It feels like with this Six of Swords energy that right now you're sort of living in an emotional chaos a little bit, because you're very curious about the feelings that someone might have for you, and are they mirroring those feelings for you or not. So I feel like right now is a little bit of a time of trying to keep your balance, trying to move into sort of a calmer energy, but it feels like you're emotionally chaotic right now. There's something under the surface. Six of Swords and One is Seven. Something under the surface that I don't believe is anything to do with anything being dishonest. I think it's more secrecy. It feels like secret feelings are being harbored here. Tell me more about Scorpio. We've got the Nine of Swords, we've got the Three of Swords, and we've got the Seven of Pentacles. It feels like you have been thinking about or working on your delivery or working on your nerves. It feels like with the Nine of Swords here that there's a bit of a worry that possibly I could get my heart broken after putting all of this thought, energy, effort, or time into this. This could be a job. This could be a connection between two people or something that you really love. It feels as though there is a lot of effort, time, and energy, whether it is thought process, like it doesn't have to be actual getting out there, because I don't see any wands here yet. There's no actual action being taken, but it does feel like maybe you are putting a lot of effort, time, energy into the thought process, trying to figure out whether somebody here has the same feeling for you as you have for them. Something is about to shift here because the Tower is showing up. Tell me what's about to shift. We've got the High Priestess energy. Something that was quiet is about to come to the surface. We're no longer being silent. We've got the Three of Cups. So it does feel like there is going to be celebration once it does come to the surface and everything shifts into this Two of Cups energy. It feels like there is somebody within your social group or somebody that you see within a social group possibly, or friends. It feels like it's like at a place where there's fun, where there's drinks flowing, people are celebrating. And it doesn't have to be like a birthday or anything like that. It could be like we all get together for dinner on a Friday or dinner for drinks after work. It feels like something is about to shift out of silence and into this Two of Cups energy. I feel like somebody is about to express their feelings, or that I kind of have a liking for you, and I'm wondering if it's just me or is it you too. Somebody is about to cause a tower by not being silent about their feelings anymore. It feels like somebody, I feel like it's you, Scorpio, who has been really quiet about your feelings up to here. And you want to explore, or you're curious to explore the feelings with the Queen of Cups here. It could be the Queen of Cups. It could be a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer. Virgo, possibly. Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the Page of Cups. See, that's the thing. I feel like somebody here is just going to say it. I feel like you're going to be surprised. Tell me why the Page of Cups is here. This is a new connection, by the way. We've got the Nine of Cups. And we've got the Star. In the outcome, it does feel like, with the Star looking over at the Nine of Cups, it does feel like this is happiness and wish fulfillment. I feel like this turns out better than you think it will, Scorpio, that you're probably going to get the answer that you want. It does feel like this is a new connection because the Page of Cups is here, but it also, with the Page of Cups being here and the Nine of Cups, looks like this is wish fulfillment, like Ten of Cups energy. It feels like something's about to make you very happy. For some of you, not all of you, and this is like the the place where it gets a little bit foggy, right? Because this isn't going to be for all of you. Somebody here is going to say something to someone, and it's going to work out in your favor. We've got the Judgment card. We've got the Five of Wands and the Fool. So I feel like you're fighting the awakening. You're fighting this feeling of, I've just got to say it. I've got to know either way, whether it works out for me or not, whether I'm heartbroken or not. I just have to stop overthinking it. I have to stop holding back. I've got to stop waiting. So it feels like this Judgment card is here, where you're being called to make the decision, to finally make it aware, because the Star is here touching with the Judgment card, making it aware, no more silence. The Five of Wands, I think that the reason why you haven't said anything is because you just don't know if the person that you're interested in is interested in someone else, or if there's competition for this person, that they might have their eye on more than one person. And we have the Justice card. It does feel like everything, look at that, Justice and the Sun. It does feel like everything is going to, there's going to be a breakthrough that is going to bring something back into balance. It feels like restoration. So it feels like the clearing of karma, the clearing of a path, restoration. The Sun comes out. It feels like happiness. The Fool is here. It feels like it's going to work out the way you want it to, should you find the courage to finally say something. It's about taking a chance or a leap of faith, right? Because the Fool is here. We've got Virgo, we've got Leo, Cancer, Pisces, Libra, Aries, Scorpio, more Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces. Aquarius, Taurus energy is here. Queen of Swords, somebody is going to say something confidently. I think that's what you want. You want to be able to say it confidently, that you're interested in pursuing some sort of commitment with this person, a good, honest commitment. And so I feel like something is going to be said in the next 7 days, and I feel like it's you saying it to someone else. Tell me about my fire family. Tell me about Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising. How are you? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, Sag? Let's find out what's going on here. Tell me about the next 7 days. A sneak peek for this week for Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the Eight of Swords. We've got the Four of Swords. I feel like there's somebody holding something back from you. It's because they're in analysis paralysis, is what it looks like here. It feels like somebody here with the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles is in analysis paralysis. Somebody's been overthinking the whole thing. It could be a Gemini or a Libra, possibly a Virgo. But it does feel like somebody here is trying to get stability of the mind to figure out what they're going to do from here. And it feels like they're overanalyzing the situation because Libra and Gemini are both overthinkers, right? It almost to the point of paralysis. And then we have the Six of Swords here. So it does feel like somebody is going to get out of their head. It feels like someone's going to get out of their head, Sagittarius, and they're finally going to say something. But it's a process of them moving to the calmness from the chaos of the mind. I think we're talking about an air sign, possibly an Aries. Possibly an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. Like I said, it's probably because we've got all swords here, or it could be a Virgo. Virgos overthink everything as well because they're ruled by Mercury, right? And so it does feel like somebody is about to let something go. A thought process, the chaos, because we've got the full moon here. Yeah, somebody here has decided that I need to calm myself. I need to find the answer. I need to make a decision. Tell me why the Eight of Pentacles is here. We've got the Queen of Wands. Okay, so somebody here is ready to make a bold move. It's going to shift everything. They're waiting for the moment of alchemy, though. So I think that you're dealing with a very spiritual person. They might be a Sagittarius, but they could be an Aries, a Libra, or a Gemini. who has some sort of connection to spirituality. But I'm talking psychic spirituality. I'm talking like somebody who feels vibration, somebody who has a knowing, like it feels like that kind of energy. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo energy here, as well as Sagittarius. The fixed signs are pretty psychic, but it feels like somebody here is about to make a bold move. They're about to close a chapter of their life, and I think the chapter that they're closing is one of overthinking, because I feel like this chaos here is something that they live in quite a lot. Because with the Eight of Pentacles here, this is also the holding back or the analytical analysis paralysis energy. I want to do it perfectly. This person is a perfectionist, or they don't want to do something wrong. They don't want to... they feel like if it's going to go wrong, it's because they said something wrong. We've got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the 6 of Cups and the Tower. So this has happened in the past for them, and that's why somebody is in analysis paralysis here. Because the 10 of Pentacles is in the reverse, which tells me that something that they thought was going to last forever did not. And I feel like the 6 of Cups is telling me that this is already in their past, but it feels like it's nostalgic. Like this whole situation of them feeling a kind of way about you is bringing up old wounds from the past. And I feel like they're trying to be brave. I want to say that this person is trying to be really brave and get past their old wounds. I don't think that this person particularly is brave usually, but I feel like if they do have a Sag rising, you might see bravery out of them, or if they're a Scorpio. But we do have the Tower here. Look, I feel like this, I feel like the Tower is here to shift this person's thinking out of whatever was in the past and into the future, trying to show this person here that that just because it happened in the past, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But I feel like there is a shift here in their thinking process because of all these swords here. It feels like there is a shift in the way that they think, and it feels like somebody is about to maybe take some action. The Page of Swords is here. Yeah, there is a shift in their thought process. They become curious instead of terrified. It feels like there's a big shift in the thought process, and now they start to look at you as someone who might be a soulmate. And maybe that's why they're scared, because they feel like they've known you before, and that could be why this is triggering old feelings for them, because maybe they dealt with a soulmate and that didn't work out. Maybe that was a karmic soulmate and somebody who was just really here to teach them lessons. So I feel like this person is about to make a bold move, and I feel like it's going to shift everything, but they're waiting for the moment of alchemy. They're waiting for the universe to tell them when it's go time. Temperance is here. If this is somebody who is Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, they're waiting for temperance. They're listening. They're waiting for the right moment, waiting for the shift, right, before they do anything. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Devil energy. We've got, the King of Wands. Look, this person just wants to jump your bones, Sag. They just want to climb you like a tree. Okay, because with the Devil here and the King of Wands, it feels like somebody is really inspired. Like you inspire them to be aggressive with their words. Like, I don't mean aggressive in a bad way, but just to say it. Like, you're inspiring them just to say it. I'm just going to say it, and we're going to figure out what happens from there. But the Devil and the King of Wands together gives me this feeling of somebody just, their heart just pounds when you're in the room. That's what it feels like, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. We got the King and the Queen of Wands here. I think we have two people who are incredibly attracted to each other, and somebody who is maybe holding back those feelings, and they're in the pocket of the slingshot. They can't hold it back anymore, because this King of Wands and the Devil energy with the Knight of Swords tells me, this person just kind of wants to grab you and throw you up against the wall. That's what it feels like. It's very Sagittarius energy. Tell me what's around the corner for Sag. We've got the Judgment card. Okay. Ooh, the Emperor. Somebody's about to take charge of the situation. You are their wish fulfillment. I feel like they know that, and they're very passionate. They just want to give you a whole bunch of attention. I feel like they see you as the Queen of Cups, whether you're feminine or masculine, somebody who's compassionate and kind and loving and full of emotion. And I think that they really love that feeling about you. But it feels like this person wants to give you a whole lot of attention. Like someone who's really proud to have you on their arm, because the King and the Queen of Wands are very attractive, right? A very attractive couple. And it does feel like with this Emperor energy that somebody is about to take charge of the situation. Somebody's about to take control. Somebody who has been in control up till now, like not in control of you, but in control of themselves, is about to make some sort of really big decision about the star, about what is my wish fulfillment from here. I really just need to take control, start to pursue, make a decision. And I feel somebody's had some sort of an awakening or an enlightenment that you are their star, that you are the star of their life, that you light up a room, or that you are their wish fulfillment. So I feel like you're going to get an offer. However small it might be, it feels like it starts off as a small offer, that somebody here wants to multiply this offer, but they're going to start off small. Can we go for a walk? Can we go for a coffee? Can I just pull you away from the crowd and talk to you for a moment one-on-one? It feels like something small. It doesn't feel like this person doesn't have anything to offer you, because this person is an emperor. So maybe you see them as somebody who doesn't have much to offer you, but I'm telling you that behind the facade is an emperor. And the emperor is not nervous, but understand that the emperor is going to stand back unless they know that they can win. They're not even taking a step forward. The emperor does not have a long list of things that they did not win. Whether that's a battle, whether that's a business decision, whatever it is, the emperor is always going to win. So it could be an Aries. It doesn't have to be y'all, because we've got many different signs here. Look, somebody's about to take the leap of faith. The Queen of Pentacles. They're going to take a slow leap of faith, but they're going to do it nonetheless. But the Emperor does never go in unless they know for sure that they are going to win. So they've been standing back, circling you, taking notes, figuring out whether or not you're interested in them or whether or not they could win you over. We've got Aquarius energy, Scorpio, big energies here, right? We've got Virgo energy, Aries, Virgo and Pisces. We've got Sagittarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius and Leo, Libra, Gemini and Aquarius, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Capricorn, and more Virgo. Holy crap. All right. Something's going down, Sag. It's going down big time. Let's talk about you, Capricorn. Tell me about Cappy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Capricorn. What's coming up for you, Caps, in the next 7 days? A sneak peek for the week for Capricorn. Tell me what's going on, Capricorn. Oh boy, this is a week, I'm telling you. There are a lot of really big shifts coming. The Tower's coming out, all of the big major arcanas, the Wheel of Fortune, the Judgment card. Like, there are so many big shifts coming up this week. This is a big shifting week. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Four of Swords. King of Pentacles. Somebody has made a decision and they're about to step forward in a very big and bold way. It feels like somebody's been thinking about you, thinking about what to do, trying to get stability of the mind. Somebody's like, I've got to go in solid. I got to go in slow. Capricorn is not going to deal with me if I cause a kerfuffle. This person is matching your energy with the King of Pentacles energy. They could be a Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo, but it feels like somebody here wants to go very slow, wants to think about it. I'm going to be very dependable. I'm going to move very quietly. I'm going to take in a really big offer that they can't refuse. This person is making a big offer and a bold move, and it's going to cause a tower. It's going to cause a shift, and I think the shift is good. They're trying to shift your thinking, I think, Capricorn. They are trying to shift your thought process. We've got the Eight of Cups, we've got the Three of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. So someone here is terrified. It feels like somebody here is in your friend group, or you met them through a friend. It feels like you know them already, or you are in touch with them. So it doesn't mean they're a bestie. It could mean that they are somebody who just started at your workplace, or somebody that you met at a convention. It could be with the Three of Pentacles. You've already built some sort of a small foundation with them. Like you know them to see them. Like if you saw them on the street, you'd shake their hand and say hello. Like it feels like they're already in your wheelhouse. This person is someone that you've had good contact with. They are cooperative, they're collaborative, you have good conversation. We do have the Eight of Cups here, but you have not heard from them in a while. And it might just be because maybe you only see them when we get together in a group, get together as a community, when we get together as a social group, possibly. Or maybe they're on your ball team. Like it feels like you see them at certain particular times, and you don't always see them. And they're not the kind of person who you're going to reach out to in text. It feels like somebody here is overthinking the situation, that they have to stop or drop the overthinking. When they do, they will make a bold move, and they're going to make you an offer you can't refuse, because that's what the King of Pentacles would do. We've got the Chariot energy, we've got the Hierophant, and the Hermit energy. Somebody is very thoughtful, I'm going to say. This person's very thoughtful. They're quite spiritual. They're somebody who goes within to make decisions, emotional decisions. This person wants to make their decision with emotional discipline. They want to be balanced. They want to walk in slowly. They want to give you an offer you can't refuse. They want to show you that they're stable, that they have structure. It feels like someone's approaching Capricorn, right? Because you're all of those things. Somebody here is not going to love bomb you. It feels like somebody is going to make a bold move, but they are going to make it in the most respectful, spiritual, slow moving way, that they're going to do the right thing. They're going to be very disciplined in the way they move forward to you slowly. Chariot is fast-moving energy, but I really do feel like this is a bit of a discipline, that because the King of Pentacles is here, the Hierophant and the Hermit, somebody is like practicing holding back because they know that you won't deal with it any other way. Now, I feel like the Tower is telling me that you're going to be shocked about who this person is. It feels like it's going to be shocking that you're not expecting who I'm talking about. Maybe you didn't know they had their eye on you. They could be a Virgo, a Taurus, maybe a Cancer. Could be an Aries, a Sagittarius, or a Leo. See, we have the Seven of Pentacles. That tells me somebody's been waiting to make the right move. The Seven of Pentacles is where we throw the seeds of intention and then we nurture. So it feels like this person has maybe thrown you an intention to, maybe you're the person that they seek out in the group. Let's just say it's a ball team and you are the person that they will get there, and immediately they'll seek you out and say hi first. This person, you will notice them closing space between you and them. So even if you're in a situation, at a convention, at a social gathering, it feels like they're always going to circle back and close the energy between you, like close the space between you. And that's what I feel like I'm getting from the Seven of Pentacles with the King here, because the Seven is where we throw the seeds of intention and we wait and we nurture, throw in the Eight, and now we have the harvest. So I feel like this person has been circling you for a while, maybe asking your friends about you, or this is somebody that you don't see them a lot. Maybe you see them once every 2 weeks when you play ball, or you're on a team, or you go to this meeting, or whatever it is. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Four of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Swords, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. I want to say this is probably someone that you have debated with before. I don't know what you might be debating about. Maybe it's something financial, material-wise. We've got Pentacles here, and it feels, I don't think it's not aggressive, I don't think, because the Pentacles are never aggressive energy, but it does feel like maybe you don't necessarily agree with all of the views, points of views, or debate topics that this person brings up. I want to say that they give you a run for your money, because I'm looking at the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands, although, is somebody who's like, get out of my way, I'll take the sofa up my stairs myself, right? Like, they won't let anybody help them. They can change their mind because they're a mutable sign. They can change their mind. Or maybe they're a cardinal sign. They can change their mind. I don't think that they're a fixed sign, but it does feel like this person is somebody that is hard to tame. That's what it feels like. Feels like they see you as someone who is hard to tame, Capricorn. We've got the Empress. There we go. That's why. The Empress, the Ace of Cups, and the King of Cups in the reverse. Look, I feel like they kind of lose their emotional, their ability to hold their feelings under the surface. They lose that emotional stoicness that they usually have around everybody. And I feel it's because you're in your Empress energy, whether you're the feminine or the masculine Empress. The Empress energy is somebody who, like, I don't need you. Like, I think that's the energy you're giving them. You're like, oh gosh, Charlie is my guide, by the way, and Charlie is showing me, those birds that the female will stand there and the other bird will like flap its wings and do all kinds of crazy things to get. It's the mating dance. It feels like the King of Cups goes into this girl dork, boy dork sort of energy when they get around you, and everything falls out the top. Like, it feels like they get very emotional around you. They get very nervous around you because you're like the Empress, and you're like, I don't really need you, but if you want to come forward, come on, we'll talk about it. I think you make them nervous just a little bit. So we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Temperance card. I think somebody's going to make a move. I think they're going to make a move. I think they've been waiting for the universe to tell them when to make the move, but I think that you are so solid, grounded, sturdy, whether you're feminine or masculine, that this person is a little bit nervous around you. And so I feel like something's about to go down probably in the next 7 days. They're probably going to reveal their feelings or give you close the space between you, like make sure they're sitting beside you. Can I get you a drink? They're going to be very attentive, right? We've got the Hermit energy, we've got Virgo, we've got Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, and Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We've got Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Virgo, more Capricorn energy, and we've got Scorpio and Sagittarius here. All right. Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Sneak peek for this week for Aquarius, please. Tell me about Aquarius. What do we need to know for the next 7 days for Aquarius, please? Tell me about Aquarius. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Four of Swords. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. There's something here you're trying to make a decision about. Now, you have the confidence. You have, I'm going to say, whatever the decision is about, maybe it's about a job, maybe it's about travel, maybe it's about moving, a job, possibly, but it feels like you've been thinking about something for a while. You have the confidence, the money, the, I'm going to say, yeah, it feels like confidence, finances. You have all of these things. You've built it yourself, and I feel like you're quite confident that you can make a decision, but I feel like there's a decision here that you're trying to make, Aquarius, that has been taking quite some time, and it might be because the Nine of Pentacles is here. It might be because either you're single, you built it yourself, there's something here that you've built, whether it's your business, your reputation, possibly your confidence. It feels like you're making some sort of decision. You're being very careful with the decision-making process. Like, it feels like reassessments are going on. I'm reevaluating things with the Four of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles here, the Five of Swords. Because what I don't want to do is hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to make a decision that is going to cause a ruckus. I don't want anybody to have a reason to argue with me. It feels like you're about to make a decision that someone else is not going to like, and I think that worries you a little bit. But I feel like you've been trying to build into this confident place and move at it slowly. because you know you're going to get an argument or a fight out of somebody here. Tell me why the Nine of Pentacles is here. I've got the Death card. Got the Five of Wands. So you're holding back. Oh, you are deciding, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. So I feel like you have been stuck in the mind trying to make a decision. You've been fighting some sort of decision that you know that you have to make, but the decision, the reason that you're fighting, not like fighting the self, I think, not making this decision is because you don't want to hurt somebody here. You don't want to hurt them, but you also know that this person is going to try and talk you into leaving. I feel like you're leaving somewhere, leaving a relationship, leaving a job. Maybe you're leaving the city or the country. It feels like you're leaving. And it's almost like you're waiting to the last possible second to tell this person, because you know that they're going to give you an argument or a fight, or they're going to ask you, why are you doing that? How dare you? It feels like they're going to feel very hurt about it. But the Death card is here and you've already made your decision. You've already made your decision. You made it unilaterally. I just need to do it for me. I need to do it for my business, my confidence, the place that I work. I need to do it for me. And so with the 2 5s here, it's telling me something is going down pretty quickly. And it also tells me that you're waiting to the last possible second to reveal to someone that you want to be single. You want to do it by yourself. I'm not taking you with me. But it feels like you've been quiet or pulling your energy away from somebody here because you've been in combat with yourself about how to say it. You know you're going to say it because the decision's made. The Death card's here already. We've got the Devil energy. The Devil. You know that this person is codependent. They're attached to you in some way. Whether, I think it's in the mind or possibly, yeah, it feels like it is the mind, but it feels like somebody here is very codependent with you, attached to you in some way. It's almost like you feel responsible for them, or they've made you feel responsible for them. King of Swords. They're a person who stands back and waits for you to make all the decisions, is what it feels like. And it weighs heavy on you. It's like this person, I would say with the Five of Swords, it's like you say something and the person's like, oh yeah, I agree. But then you change your mind. They're like, oh yeah, I never liked that anyway. It's like they don't have a mind of their own. They do whatever you do, because I feel like you're the meal ticket, is what it feels like. It feels like you have the money, that you supply the material wealth, you bring the confidence. It feels like this person just agrees with you, and you're not down with somebody who is just going to follow along because. Yeah. So the Devil energy here tells me that the reason you're leaving or cutting them away is because they've become really codependent, and it's really weighing heavy on your mind. It's like it's sort of a little bit terrifying that this person doesn't have their own way of thinking. They don't have their own money. They don't, like, you supply all those things for them. They really don't think for themselves. They just want to do what you want them to do. And I feel like it's not a good feeling for you, that you don't want all of that. You want somebody who is going to be a business partner and take 50% of the responsibility, or someone who is a love partner. You want someone who's going to work on things, but this person doesn't have the ability to think for themselves. They just want to do whatever you want to do. We have the Page of Pentacles. So it feels like you've been pulling away your energy till it gets to the point where you're at the Page of Pentacles. It almost feels like, because I'm looking at you as being this humanitarian person who you always are, and it almost feels like you're going to give them a little nugget of something. Like it's like you leave them 1 month's rent, or you leave them money for groceries, and it might not be that situation at all, but you know what I mean? It's like you leave them with something that is going to make them not have to struggle after you leave. It could be monetary, it could be energy, time, effort, whatever it is. The Page of Pentacles, it feels like it's a gift that you're going to give to them, but you've got to go. I think that you've already made the decision to go. Tell me what the outcome is here. We've got the Two of Wands. Yeah, you've already made the plan that you need to go because the Six of Swords is here and the Nine of Swords. Look, I don't think that you feel good about it, Aquarius, but I feel like you've been trying to pull your energy back or draw your energy back from this for a while, and I don't think that it's working because I think whoever is here is stuck to you codependently. It doesn't matter what you do to them. They're going to say, oh, it's okay. It's fine. Like, it feels like, yeah, it feels like that. It feels very codependent. So the Two of Wands tells me you already have a plan. Six of Swords tells me that it was chaos while you were making the plan, because I don't think you wanted to do it this way, but I feel like you feel this is the only way that I can do it. If I would have given this person advance notice, they just would have melted to the ground without me. So I feel like you're feeling terrible with the Nine of Swords about doing it this way, but it feels like it's the easiest way to do it. Six of Swords is here. You're getting out of this chaos. You need to get out of this chaos, my friend, because I feel like it's this Nine of Swords where you have to hold this person up. You know, when you're in a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, a friendship relationship, or a love relationship, and you're the person who always has to carry the other person, that means that you're never allowed to have an off day. You can't melt down. You can't be exhausted because this person doesn't have the ability to carry you in any way at all. And so I think it's become exhausting for you. There we go. There's you in your new chapter. It's time for you to take a leap of faith. I feel like you're out. That's what you're doing. I feel like this perspective energy here, the Hanged Man, tells me that you're not doing this like out of spite. You're not doing this out of any other reason. Like, you're not doing it. You're not leaving it to the last possible second because you're a horrible person. I don't think that's what it is, but it feels like in the Hanged Man energy, you were in a pause and a perspective about, how am I going to sacrifice this? I don't know how to get out of this. I don't think that you thought it was going to be like that at the very beginning, but it feels like this person can't live without you for 5 minutes, and I feel like you feel so attached, like it's an attachment at this point. So I feel like you're not really willing to put any more effort, time, or energy into this. The Hanged Man is here. You've come to a realization after getting perspective from holding back. You've realized that I got to put the pause on this. I need more balance than this. And so it feels like with the Fool, you're out. Yeah. I feel like it's after a lot of contemplation or curiosity or watching this person. It's like maybe you got to a point where you're like, is this really going down? Is this really what's happening? Because I feel like this started out in a very fiery, passionate way. And I think that this person felt like that was the only part of the relationship they had to carry, as long as they were sexy, as long as they dressed well, as long as they made it available to you whenever you wanted it, that's really all you wanted. But you became in this place where, I don't know, that's not really what I want. I feel like you came into this place of the Nine of Wands, which is, exhaustion. Yeah, it feels like burnout or exhaustion. And so I feel like this person was just sucking the emotion out of you. I feel like you contemplated around it for a while, but it's time to go. And I think this is really the only way that you can do it, is by just going. All right, so we have Aries. Nope, we have Aquarius. I've been calling Aquarius Aries all day. So Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. We've got Pisces and Capricorn. We've got Aries. Yeah, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. All right, Pisces, here we go. Let's find out about Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for my beautiful two fishes friends, my water family. Tell me what's going on with you. Pisces, in the next 7 days. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me what's going on in the next 7 days. Tell me about Pisces. I've got the Ace of Swords. Oh, more swords. We've got the Page of Swords. You're about to find something out, or have an epiphany of some sort. There's 2 swords here. It's like a decision is about to be made. We've got the Seven of Cups. Cutting through the illusion of something here. Something that was confusing, or there was something that wasn't clear. That maybe you thought, I'm delusional. That's not the way this is. That's not the way it's going down. I feel like you're getting the clarity about something. This can sometimes happen when somebody is not listening to their intuition. Their intuition is telling them something and they're like, nah, I got to be delusional. It's not going to go down that way. I feel like you are almost emotionally or mentally exhausted. I feel like you've thought out something, like up and down, side to side, around and around. I feel like you've been thinking about something. You're trying to land on a decision. And I feel like it's a bit of a emotional block or a empathic block. And it feels like it's become exhausting. I feel like this Seven of Cups is telling me, nah, I'm delusional. That's not going to work out for me because I'm the wounded warrior. It's like you've put a label on your forehead. I'm the wounded warrior. You know, there are some people who are unwell. I'll just liken it to that. I don't mean that you're unwell. But there are some people who are sick, right? Some people unfortunately have to live in this life with bodies that don't function the way they want them to. And some of those people just continue on with life even though they have these challenges. But then there are people who actually become the sickness. They can't make a conversation. They can't talk to you. They can't text you without speaking about all of their ailments. It's like they have become their disease, right? And then there are people who have the disease, but they realize that they are a person and they're just going to keep going. I feel like you are not the person who is identifying as the disease, but I feel like there is some sort of Nine of Wands energy here, which tells me there is something that I feel you've been carrying with you for a while. Maybe it's been traumatic. Maybe it's trauma. It feels like it feels like the Seven of Cups is lending to the Nine of Wands saying, no, good things like that don't happen for me. Like it feels like that. But I think you're about to have the shock of your lifetime because the Ace of Swords is here and something is about to become really clear for you. We've got the Nine of Swords. We've got the Ten of Swords. I was going to say 9 and 1 is 10. The Ten of Swords is here. And then we have the Six of Cups. Something is about to be really clear for you, Pisces. There is somebody here that I feel that you have either a last life connection with or you've known them forever. You would call them someone that you've known forever. They could be a member of your family. They could be a soulmate friend. They could be someone you're connected to by the heart space romantically. I feel like there was a terrible betrayal between you and someone, and it feels like you're about to get the biggest shock or the clarity of your life about this. What is this here? Tell me about this. What? The Sun is here. There is some sort of a breakthrough or something comes to light or factually clear about possibly a Leo. It could be Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. We've got the Five of Wands. You're about to find out why somebody stopped talking to you or held back from you. The King of Pentacles. Somebody is coming in very solid. Maybe a solid offer. You're about to figure out why somebody had been holding their energy back from you. Why is this? Tell me about this. It's about to become clear why there was indecision. Somebody here might have thought that there was competition for your friendship, for your love. It may be a King of Pentacles. It could be somebody who either works in the financial industry, somebody who is doing very well in their life, well off financially, somebody who could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, or somebody who has one of those placements. King of Wands. Somebody is feeling inspired to come forward and give you attention, and it feels like this person is someone who is very attractive. It feels like you're about to become aware There's about to be a breakthrough between you and somebody who I feel has really been working on themselves. It feels like they have more wisdom than they had. This person has become financially stable, or maybe they already were or always were. But it feels like with the King of Wands energy, somebody has now found the courage to come forward and show you the wisdom that they have gained through, like, after something came to an end between you. Tell me about this. Tell me about these kings. Got the Five of Swords. We've got the Moon and the Five of Pentacles. We've got 3 fives here. Something's about to go down, Pisces. Something that you don't see. 3 fives, 5, 5, 5. That's quick change. There's something that's about to go down here. I'm going to say for some of you, we could be talking about 2 people, but it does for some of you feel like it's one person who's really been working on themselves, who's halfway to the Emperor, if you see what I mean, with the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. For some of you, it could be 2 people. The Five of Swords, though, is telling me that, and looking at this as sort of one person, that the Five of Swords tells me this is somebody who you still have differences with, differences of opinion, differences in the way we live. This person is trying to make a decision about whether or not to bring themselves in from out of the cold. I think this person walked away. I think that they betrayed you, broke your heart. I think it was incredibly painful. You had to live through it, but you're about to realize or come to a realization why this all went down. It feels like it's a bit of a secret. Like, I'm not really sure why this ended, or why you just stopped calling me, or why we just stopped talking to each other. I'm looking at the Moon, Justice, the Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. Oh, this person could have been married and very attracted to you. That's why they stopped talking to you. They're about to tell you that. There's something here. Somebody's about to make something right with you, with the King, with the Justice card here, and the Knight of Swords. They're about to just say it in a very big and bold way. It feels like this person was very attracted to you, but they might have been already married, with the King of Pentacles, or they could have been your boss. This could be a person at work. Maybe they thought it was taboo because we worked together. You're about to find out what was going on here. Whatever was hiding in the Moon, things are not as they seem, my friend. You're about to get the shock of a lifetime here. I feel like somebody is about to surprise you with some sort of clarity that you were not expecting at this point in your life. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Hanged Man. Yeah, somebody was holding back, getting perspective, maybe watching you, because the Page is here. They might have been watching you, waiting for the right time to say something. The Ten of Pentacles is here. And the Two of Pentacles is here. Somebody is making a decision. I feel like this person could still be married. I'm just saying, they could still be in a long-term relationship, or maybe you've worked with them forever. Maybe you've worked with them for 12 years. Maybe even 20 years. 10 years, maybe 2 years. It feels like this is somebody that you could have worked with. So they could be someone you've worked with for a while. There's some sort of stability here. So it feels like we've known each other for a long time. Maybe you've known them for 10 years but haven't talked to them for 5, because we've got 5 Pentacles here. It feels like there is somebody here who is watching you. They're in a pause, getting perspective about when to come forward and tell you all of this. What is this? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. I don't know. This person feels like they're still they're making a decision about their relationship, understand? I don't think if they were married, they're not yet divorced. This could be someone who is separated, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like this person is in their relationship still and trying to make a decision about sacrificing the Ten of Pentacles. They're trying to make a decision about whether they want to sacrifice this or not, because they see you as their equal. They see you as someone, the King and the Queen of Pentacles here, right? Someone here is planning to make a decision about the future. 3 Wands here. and what they really want, what really makes them feel passionate. Because I feel like this person is somebody who has a lot of material wealth, but they don't have a lot of passion. They've just come into this energy of the King of Wands, and they don't have the passion, but they need the passion. So I feel like although they have a lot of material wealth, there's pentacles here, I don't think that they have the passion that they want. We have the Lovers here and the Ten of Wands. There we go. They're in a relationship that's become very heavy. I don't think that they're keeping that under wraps. I don't think that they've told their person. So be aware that I think that somebody has a major life change that's coming to an end, but I feel like they're keeping that under the surface. It feels like they want to see you, talk to you, take you out. You know, they're making a decision to possibly reach out to you because they do have a foundation with you. 2 and 1 is 3. They have a foundation with you already, but the relationship they're in has become quite heavy, and they're keeping it secret. They're not telling anybody, but something here is coming to an end emotionally for them, and they're looking at wanting to have a new start. So be aware that somebody here, I feel it's going to shock you, but this person is not available for you right now. Listen, I don't think, it doesn't feel like somebody here is trying to cheat on their spouse. They're not trying to make you the other person. Whether you're feminine or masculine, that's not what's going on here. It's almost as if they're like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Can we go out for coffee? And then they're going to feel you out by asking you questions. According to you, they're happily married, but they're your friend. And so maybe you're like going to meet them out somewhere public for a drink or something, because it feels like they have a lot of money. They might want to take you out somewhere. And I feel like you don't think anything of it because this person is a friend. But what you don't know is that under the surface, this person is sort of feeling you out without telling you that they're about to make a decision to sacrifice the 10 of Pentacles with somebody else. They're not happy where they are, regardless of how long they've been with that person. They're not happy there. So we could be talking about a Pisces. We could be talking about Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got Leo here. We've got Libra, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Cancer here. Gemini is here. Sagittarius is here. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Somebody here is stuck in the place that they are, and they don't want to be stuck there anymore. And so this is more than the conversation you think it is. You're going to be like, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's go out for a coffee, or let's meet at the ice cream place and let's just touch base and say hello. But that's not what this is about, and you don't know that. I'm just going to leave that right there. Thanks so much for being here, and thank you for watching. I do appreciate you, Pisces. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. You guys take care. Bye-bye.